This is a fingerstyle guitar tutorial for beginners, and we'll be using acoustic steel string for this video. So let's take a look at how to set up your right hand, and I will talk to you about what actually fingerstyle is. So the first thing is to understand the representation for each one of the fingers that we're going to be using. So we're not going to be using the pinky. We're going to be using the thumb, index, middle, and ring fingers. Much like the left hand has numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 for your fretting hand, the same goes for the right hand. It has letters for its designations. So for the thumb, it's P. For the index, it's I. For the middle is M. And for the ring is A. So pulgar, indicio, medio, and annular. To set up the PIMA position, we'll start with the thumb on the 6th string, index on the 3rd string, middle on the 2nd string, and ring finger on the 1st string. So take a few moments to find that. Maybe shake it off a little bit and then come back again. Thumb, index, middle, and ring finger. So P, I, M, and A. Or if you want to, you can set it up a little bit differently. You can go P and A, and then I and M. Sometimes that works really well with some of the students that I teach. The most important part when you're setting this up is to be on the tips. So this is like right on the tips like that. So the thumb is on the side of the tip here for the thumb, and then index on the tip and middle on the tip, and then A finger on the tip like that. So the pad would be this part here. So you'd be going too far in. So if you set it up on the pad, you have this kind of inclination to pull it out instead of just kind of flex and then move. So the movement, we'll talk about the movement next here. So when you set it up, the thumb will be a little bit forward, and the thumb will go this way, and then the index finger will go inwards this way, and the M and then A as well. So if you want to try and play, I'll just drape my strings here. So it'll be just kind of a click sound. I'll play like that, and then like that. So I'm playing P and I. So I'm also kind of resting my thumb on the 5th string as I play. And then we'll play thumb and M, and thumb and A. Okay, and you can see that I'm always trying to move them independent of each other. This can only be achieved when you're setting up your PIMA position on the tips of your fingers. Okay, so what is fingerstyle? What is it? Why is it so different than strumming or anything like that? So essentially, when you're strumming, you are accompanying either a melody, so a voice, or somebody else playing something. With fingerstyle, you can still be accompanying, playing your chords and moving through a pattern, but also you can also have a melody and the bass and the accompaniment at the same time. So I'm going to try and demonstrate this with a song, House of the Rising Sun. Alright, I'll start with the accompaniment. Okay, now I will play the melody and the bass. I will try and do them both, melody and bass and accompaniment. Okay, so as you've seen in the example, when I'm playing with my thumb, the thumb will be playing 6th, 5th, 4th, and sometimes the 3rd, and the 3rd is reserved for this finger here. So 6th, 5th, and 4th. And I was always trying to do the rest stroke with my thumb. So when you're using your rest stroke with the thumb, it gives you the opportunity to be a little bit more stable as you're moving your fingers underneath this way. You've also seen that I was playing sometimes the thumb in each one of the fingers, like that. Right, so if I was playing, so I got the, so you want to practice those combinations as well. So in addition to just playing each one of these, you want to try and play the combinations with a thumb together as well when you're practicing. So let me know in the comments below, what do you prefer to do? Do you prefer to have a melody with bass and accompaniment, or do you just prefer to have a pattern and then just accompany with that? So if you're accompanying a singer or accompanying melody that you created or somebody else playing guitar. Now there are some things to kind of look out for when you're trying to establish this with your right hand. So the first thing is, try not to ignore the setup. So every time you have you start to play, try to do this setup. So if it's a pattern or if it's a melody and bass, don't forget to set this up, and try to remember to set it up on the tips here. The next thing you want to remember is just try to be relaxed in your hand. You don't want too much pressure from the thumb or too much pressure from the fingers. So it's kind of equal in terms of where the pressure is coming from. Try not to pull the string out. So usually if you're planting or if you're placing your finger too far in this way, then there's a need to pull it out. So try to move your finger this way and your thumb the opposite way down this way. Try to have your thumb in front. And of course, when you're practicing these exercises, try to go slow. Try to take your time, because you're building finger independence, and this takes a little bit of time to develop. Another important thing is the wrist location. So the wrist has to be straight or just slightly outwards. It can also be a little bit this way, as long as you have enough room for your fingers to move. Now you don't want to do this where you don't have enough room for the fingers to follow through. Now, do you need to go this way? At the beginning, yes, you want to have a nice follow through. Later on, as you move through, the fingers will just move this way. They're still moving from the big knuckle, but they're moving in a shorter range of motion. So this will set you up for a strong fingerstyle hand position, the PIMA. That's it for this video. In the next video, we're going to go a step further on the fingerstyle guitar for beginners, and you get to play along with me with the pattern. So I will see you there.